Man United had a very unfortunate turn of events in the last third of the 90 in their match against Southampton. In addition to the last minute winner, Man United suffered 2 injuries, both to their left backs. One to Luke Shaw, who suffered an eversion ankle sprain, and the second to Brandon Williams, who substituted him initially, suffering a nasty gash to the head as a result of a collision with Walker Peters. In this video, we're going to look at Luke Shaw's injury in particular and assess the severity of it, how it happened, and roughly what are the treatment and recovery times for when we can expect Luke Shaw to return. If you don't know me already, my name is Matthew Fayisa and I'm a medical student from London interested in sports medicine. I've done a lot of sports medicine injury videos in the past, however this is my first on my team, Manchester United. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any videos in the future. Luke Shaw has probably been the unluckiest player at Manchester United when it comes to injuries. A few years back he had an injury against PSV where he broke his leg, I believe, and now he's suffered an array of ankle injuries, and this being the latest. Luckily for United fans, I don't believe this ankle injury is anything serious, and I think he's going to have a very speedy recovery with minor complications. This injury is very similar to Granit Xhaka's injury for Arsenal in the season opener for Arsenal against Manchester City following Project Restart. However, it's the opposite force. So the way to describe that is, Xhaka, who's also suffered an ankle sprain, suffered an inversion ankle sprain, meaning his ankle rolled outwards and his foot rolled inwards. Alternatively, Luke Shaw suffered a eversion ankle sprain with an E, meaning his ankle rolled inwards, damaging the medial or most inner ligaments of the ankle versus the outermost in Xhaka's case. If we look at some pictures of Luke Shaw's incident, we can see that his ankle, as I said, rolls inwards, so towards the center line of his body, causing damage to the medial aspect or the medial parts of the ligaments on the inner side, which is the deltoid ligaments if I'm not mistaken. If we look at ligaments as elastic bands, which are connections between bones and muscles, we can see that when a force is applied to them and it causes it to stretch, ultimately this can lead to a tear or complete rupture if the force is too strong. These are all my thoughts looking at the injury footage and based on my medical knowledge as a medical student and what I've been taught. However, to truly determine what the injury is and the severity of it, you're going to have to take a few scans. Ultimately, immediately after the injury, they would have taken ultrasound scans and also carried out, rough examinations to assess the strength and the integrity of the ligaments. However, to get specific info into what is damaged, they're probably going to have to use an MRI machine to take a scan of that ankle and assess what ligaments are damaged and potentially torn. The good news for us, and obviously Luke Shaw most importantly, is that he was seen coming into training the day after the Southampton match. That is very optimistic and leads us onto the good path, that it's not a rupture, it's not a really bad tear, but it is in fact perhaps a grade 1 strain. A grade 1 sprain of the ankle is when there is stretching in the ligament that causes slight micro tears in the structure of it. This is very beneficial in the sense that it's the best of a bad situation. This is a very minor injury, and as we've seen with Granit Xhaka, who suffered a similar injury, even if it is in the opposite direction, he was back in 1 to 2 weeks. So we could expect the same, and potentially we could even expect him at the Chelsea match if they really want to get aggressive and heavily tape up that ankle. If I'm right and this injury is a grade 1 sprain, or even a grade 2 sprain to say the worst, Luke Shaw will not need surgery, which is a very good thing. The only instance where I believe he would need surgery, assuming there were no broken bones, would be when it'd be an avulsion fracture. So an avulsion fracture is when the ligament or the force applied to it is so strong that it causes it to tear off the bone, and as a result it pulls a piece of the bone off the actual main structure. As this did not happen, there's quite a straightforward and simple rehabilitation process for Luke Shaw to follow. Whether that's rise, rest, ice, compress and elevate the ankle to kind of encourage blood flow and also speed up the healing process of that ligament, and also would be to have reduced weight bearing exercises in order to slowly strengthen that ligament in time for Chelsea or other matches in the future. Regarding weight bearing exercises, you could do eccentric exercises, which are movements that lengthen the ligament and lengthen muscles surrounding it. In addition to that, if you want to take pain medication, you could use something called NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medication, And what that does is it's going to help manage the inflammation and reduce the swelling that occurs. If United wanted to be particularly aggressive and get him back as quickly as possible, they would give him painkillers obviously to manage the pain if there was any, but also they would heavily tape up the ankle as I mentioned earlier. If you tape up that medial side of the ankle, so the innermost side, over the kind of the ball or the malleolus as it's called, you can kind of restrict the movement in the opposite direction and as a result stabilize and re-strengthen that ligament artificially. So what I mean by artificially is that you're providing an external support to that ligament, however the actual ligament inside would still be damaged. And this might not be the wisest thing to do, however it does allow a player to return very quickly, and perhaps it might be the route they take considering United obviously are contending with Leicester and Chelsea for the top 4 Champions League spots. So I suspect Luke Shaw will be back in 1 to 2 weeks. However, if they want to be particularly aggressive, he'd be back at Chelsea. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any videos in the future, and you can also kind of continue and join me on my journey into learning more about sports medicine and also contribute to future videos we make. For more information on ankle sprains, make sure to check out my video on Granit Xhaka's injury, and if you want to see a particularly gruesome one, go check out my video on David Buss, who suffered a broken leg against Manchester United in around 1996, I believe, or also even Santi Carzola's injury, which happened to his Achilles and it resulted in nearly him amputating his leg as a result and not being able to walk afterwards. Apart from that, I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you guys next time.
I bun with your babes and feed the oysters. Oysters man think that they're hot like raw mustard. More time is sweeter than sponge cakes and birds custard. Fix your posture. I must have been 16, another cube buster. In co-op there had told me about the custard. Wasting time instead of grinding harder than you can, you muster. Bye bye the rules of stacking notes and making bands of sorts of. I think there's some